My beloved child, listen carefully. If you trust in God, type Amen. Chosen one. I am Archangel Michael, and I come not with fire or fear, but with a voice soft enough to touch the corners of your heart you've been hiding from the world. Jesus stands beside me in the silence between your thoughts, where heaven has been whispering, waiting, knocking, softly, again and again. Not to frighten you, not to rush you, but because we have watched you hold pain you never deserved and wait on answers you thought might never come. We were there when you stayed strong for everyone but had no one to stay strong for you. We saw the way you prayed quietly in the middle of the night, not for riches, but just for peace. Just for a sign that God hadn't forgotten you. This is that sign. You are not seeing this by chance. You are not hearing these words as another video. This moment was assigned. Heaven moved in time and breath and space to reach you right here, right now. And we've tried before, you've felt it. You've ignored the chills. You've brushed off the signs. You've closed the tabs and convinced yourself it was coincidence. But it wasn't. Each time your heart felt something stir that you couldn't explain, it was us. Jesus sent you reminders through songs, strangers, even in your dreams. And I stood over your name when you didn't even know you were being protected from things the enemy had already planned. This is not about scaring you. This is about waking up the part of you that's been waiting to feel alive again. The part of you that's tired of pretending. Tired of being the strong one. Tired of starting over. Tired of hoping quietly. You don't need to be loud anymore. You don't need to perform. You don't need to carry everyone else's weight to be loved. You are already loved. You were already chosen before you were formed. God has written promises over your life that no betrayal, no delay, no rejection can ever erase. But we cannot force you to receive what you keep running from. We cannot enter where your heart has bolted shut. And so, gently, humbly, for what may be the final time in this season, we ask you to open. Not your screen. Not just your eyes. But your spirit. We are still here. We haven't left. But heaven's timing is sacred. And sometimes, silence follows if the soul won't listen. You have not missed your miracle. But you are standing right on the edge of it. There is a silence that speaks louder than thunder. A silence that heaven enters when words are too small to carry the weight of what your soul has been through. That is where we are right now. You, the weary one, the chosen one, have been carrying more than you speak about. The world sees your strength, your resilience, your smile, but heaven sees your silent ache, your breath held in frustration, the way you retreat to the corner of your own heart when no one understands. And in that very place, where even language breaks down, we've been speaking to you not through sound but through signs. Every time your heart jumped without reason, every time your body paused while scrolling, every time a line from a song cracked open your chest, it was us, Jesus and I, reminding you that you are not invisible. You are not forgotten. You are not alone. You've been living in between moments, suspended between prayers and patience, between knowing you're meant for something divine and still waiting for it to appear. You've questioned, why does it always almost happen? Why does the breakthrough come close, then fade? Why do the right people enter, then drift away? Why does peace arrive only to be swallowed again by chaos? I will tell you now what no one else has dared to explain. Your soul has been under divine protection and spiritual preparation. God has not been delaying your blessing, He's been guarding your capacity. Because what you've been chosen for can't rest on a weak foundation. And so we had to let some people walk out. We had to let some plans fail. We had to let you feel like things were falling apart, because they were falling into place. You were never being punished. You were being positioned. But now we are here. Right now. With one final invitation in this chapter. Jesus has seen every time you gave love and were met with silence. He's watched you give loyalty to people who only fed off your light. And I, Archangel Michael, have stood between you and the spirits that wanted your joy, your mind, your future. You don't even know how many nights the enemy tried to visit your sleep, how many false promises were assigned to distract you. But heaven intercepted every one. And even now, this message, this moment, is not just a video. It's a divine interception. A pause in your timeline to breathe heaven back into your spirit before you make one more decision that could silence your divine path. There's someone you're still holding on to in your heart, a person who gave you half love but took full pieces of you. There's a memory you're still running from, thinking you've healed, but your body still flinches when you hear their name. Jesus doesn't just want you healed, He wants you whole. And that's why this message came today. To call you back to the version of you that existed before betrayal distorted your reflection. Before silence made you doubt your intuition. Before delay made you wonder if God heard you at all. He heard you. I heard you. We both watched you cry in the shower, in the car, in the dark corner of your room. We heard the words you never said out loud, I just want peace. I just want to feel safe. I just want something real. And heaven replied. This moment, this sacred interruption, is your answer. But you must choose to open. You must choose to soften. You must choose to believe again. Not in people. Not in systems. But in the God who wrote your name before the beginning of time. In the Jesus who would break all laws of time and space just to whisper, I still want you. In the Archangel who never left your side even when you were angry at heaven. Let me be clear, beloved, you are not too late. You are not too broken. You are not too much. You are not hard to love. What left you could not carry the weight of your calling. What ignored you was never assigned to understand you. What disappointed you was only meant to reveal what you no longer need. And now you are ready. Not because you have it all together, but because heaven finally has your attention. Don't shrink. Don't run. Don't second-guess the power of this very moment. You've opened this for a reason. Your soul aligned with divine timing. This is not coincidence. This is heaven keeping its promise to you. There comes a moment, chosen one, when the soul cannot pretend anymore. When the mask becomes too heavy, when smiling starts to hurt, when waiting becomes a quiet kind of ache. That moment is not a breakdown, it is a breakthrough disguised in silence. And this message you are reading now is the spiritual door into that sacred moment. Archangel Michael is not here to warn you. Jesus is not here to threaten you. We are here because your name was whispered through the walls of heaven, and the response wasn't anger, it was love. It wasn't judgment, it was movement. Divine movement. A shift you've been waiting on, but couldn't see. A release you've been praying for, but didn't know how to receive. Until now. You've been asking, why is nothing changing? But in truth, everything has already begun shifting in the spirit. You haven't been forgotten, you've been hidden so the wrong people couldn't find you, so the counterfeit offers couldn't corrupt you, so the traps couldn't claim you. This delay was never a denial, it was a strategy. Because heaven doesn't just deliver blessings. Heaven prepares the room. And now that room is being prepared in front of you. The spiritual table is being set. But before you step into that room, God needs you to shed the skin of who you used to be. The version of you who begged for love. The version of you who made peace with small promises. The version of you who accepted half-light and called it warmth. That version was necessary for the survival season. But you are not in survival anymore. Jesus says, you are stepping into the season of return. What was taken from you, peace, clarity, honor, real love, it is being returned. Not in pieces, but in divine fullness. The people who misunderstood you will witness the peace that follows you now. The doors that were closed will swing open, not because you forced them, but because your spirit finally stopped chasing what was never meant for you. This is not karma. This is not revenge. This is divine justice, led by mercy. You will not rise with bitterness. You will rise with stillness. You will rise with grace. And I, Archangel Michael, have been assigned to clear the path ahead, not by removing every obstacle, but by strengthening your feet so that nothing trips you anymore. You may not recognize yourself in a few months. Not because you've changed who you are, but because you've finally become who you were always meant to be. The weight will lift, not all at once, but gently. The overthinking will quiet, not by control, but by surrender. The people meant for your next chapter won't come with chaos. They will come with confirmation. They will come with stillness. They will look at you and see what God sees in you, value beyond effort, beauty beyond explanation, light that doesn't need to perform to shine. Heaven is not asking you to fix everything. Heaven is asking you to be still enough to receive what's already moving toward you. Let go of timelines. Let go of the list in your mind that tells you how late you are. God is not rushed. The blessing hasn't expired. And you are not behind. You are exactly where the miracle needed you to be, tired enough to surrender, open enough to receive, awake enough to finally listen. And listen carefully now. Not every voice that claims to speak light is speaking for heaven. In this hour, you will need discernment, not just desire. You will need to recognize the difference between what feeds your loneliness and what feeds your soul. Many things will look familiar. Some people will return. Some offers will appear again. But you will not fall for the same distractions. Why? Because now you know. Now you hear. Now you are seated in the presence of divine clarity. What used to confuse you will no longer stir your spirit. You will smile more. Cry less. Speak less. And carry more presence. The kind that doesn't need to prove anything. The kind that just is. Jesus is not rushing you. But He is inviting you. Inviting you back into the center of God's promise, not as a spectator, but as a participant. Archangel Michael stands at the edge of your spiritual threshold, not with a sword for war, but with a torch for light. He is not here to fight what's behind you. He is here to illuminate what's ahead of you. And what's ahead of you is sacred. There are people who will love you in ways that don't make you question your worth. There are rooms being prepared where your voice will be honored without you raising it. There are blessings being aligned that won't ask you to shrink to fit in. This is not the end. This is not just another emotional message. This is a moment carved by divine timing. The kind that angels gather around. The kind that shifts lifelines forever. The kind that only reaches the ones who are ready to receive without fear. So breathe. Breathe slowly. Because what comes next will not ask you to perform. It will not ask you to beg. It will not ask you to chase. What comes next will recognize you. And it will feel like peace. The kind you stopped hoping for. The kind you thought was too late to find. But it's not too late. Not for you. Never for you. Let me tell you what no one told you back then. It wasn't your fault. The chaos wasn't because you were broken. The silence of your parents, the betrayal of your friend, the abandonment by family members you loved too much to blame, it wasn't a reflection of your value. It was a reflection of their blindness. They didn't see you the way God sees you. They saw your strength as stubbornness. They saw your softness as weakness. They saw your silence as consent. But heaven saw everything. And heaven has kept the receipts. Your heart was forced to grow up too soon. You forgave without apology. You endured without explanation. You watched people smile at your surface but never ask how deep your pain went. And in all of that, you began to wonder, does anyone really see me? The answer is yes. God does. Jesus does. I do. And today, heaven is sending you back into the sacred corners of your memory not to re-feel the pain, but to reclaim the power you left behind. There was a time you used to believe in the goodness of people so easily. A time when love came naturally, when laughter was light, when you trusted your own instincts. Then came betrayal. Then came disappointment. Then came silence. So you adjusted. You built walls. You made your smile a shield. You made your schedule a way to avoid stillness. You said you're okay when you weren't. But the truth is, that joyful, trusting, vibrant version of you? That soul isn't gone. It's waiting. Waiting behind all the survival. Waiting beneath the pain. Waiting for permission to return. And today, heaven gives you that permission. Not because the people who hurt you apologized. Not because the family became perfect. But because your soul deserves to be free even if the apology never arrives. Forgiveness is not about forgetting. It's about releasing yourself from holding pain like a prisoner in your body. It's about realizing that the version of you who was wounded is not the version that has to lead your future. Jesus isn't asking you to forget. He's asking you to release. Not for their sake. For yours. Because what's coming in your life needs your hands open, not clenched with memory. What's next in your journey needs your spirit whole, not fragmented by ghosts. And yes, I know, you've tried. You've cried. You've journaled. You've prayed. But healing is not a straight line. Some days you're strong. Some days you break. Some days you rise like fire. Some days you fall into silence. And heaven is not angry about that. Jesus doesn't love you because you're strong. He loves you even when you're tired of being strong. Even when you whisper, God, I can't do this again. Even when you don't have the words. Because He reads hearts, not performances. He sees tears that never fall. He hears prayers that sound like silence. And now I, Archangel Michael, am here to declare this: the curse is breaking. The cycle ends here. You will not carry your parents' trauma into the future. You will not pass down the pain that was passed to you. You are the interruption. The holy interruption. The one heaven appointed to stop the storm and build peace where there was once confusion. And you don't have to do it all in one day. You just have to take one breath, one step, one surrender at a time. There is a person coming back into your life, maybe not physically, but spiritually. Someone you lost. Someone who died carrying words they never got to say. And now they're speaking them through this message. They're saying, I see you now. I understand you now. I'm sorry for what I didn't give. I'm proud of how far you've come. You're not imagining their presence. They've been near, watching, sending signs, making sure you didn't give up. They couldn't protect you then. But they are fighting for your peace now, through the presence of angels and divine intervention you can't yet see but are already feeling. You were not meant to walk this path alone. Jesus didn't send you here to survive in silence. He sent you here to awaken, to rise, to remember. You are not what they did. You are not the mistake you made. You are not the love they failed to give you. You are the prophecy they never believed would come true. And here you are, still standing, still hoping, still loving, still opening your heart to the message heaven has orchestrated just for you. You didn't miss your moment. You didn't lose your purpose. You didn't fall too far. In fact, this moment, right now, is the sign your soul has been asking for. This is the green light your spirit has waited for. This is the breath of God being spoken over your future. So breathe again. We're still here. And what's coming will not break you. It will build you into the one heaven already knows you are. You are not forgotten. Not in the way the world forgets, not in the way people walk away, not in the way others have gone silent after promising they would always be there. Heaven remembers what others overlook. And even now, your name is not just written in a book, it is being spoken by Jesus, carried by angels, and watched over by the very eyes of God who called you into existence long before you were born. This moment you are in, this exact message you've opened, is not a reminder of what's missing, it is a divine announcement of what's on the way. Archangel Michael stands with a scroll, not of warnings, but of fulfillment. And the ink on that scroll? It's written in every tear you've cried, every prayer you've whispered, every act of love you gave when no one gave it back. This blessing isn't new. It's been in preparation your whole life. And now, heaven is ready to release it. But before I tell you what it is, I must tell you this truth: your life is not behind. You are not late. You are not forgotten in some heavenly filing cabinet. You are not at the bottom of God's to-do list. The delay you felt was not rejection. It was alignment. You were never waiting on the blessing was waiting on you to become the version of yourself who wouldn't hand it away out of loneliness, who wouldn't sabotage it out of fear, who wouldn't let others define its worth. And now, after the storms, after the loss, after the quiet disappointments no one else saw, you are ready. Not because you're perfect. Not because you understand everything. But because you have been refined in the fire of waiting, in the fire of letting go, in the fire of finding God even when nothing made sense. So here it is, the blessing that knows your name. There is a door that will open with no resistance. The kind that doesn't just lead you into opportunity, it leads you into identity. A place where you don't just succeed, you belong. Where your gifts are not used, but honored. Where you are not needed because of what you can do, but wanted for who you are. This door will not be flashy. It won't scream. It won't beg. It will come quietly, like the whisper of peace. It will come wrapped in stillness. And your spirit will know, this is it. It may look small on the outside. It may not even impress the world. But it will feel like home to your soul. Because it was made for you. And only you.